Chapter 793. After Lady Richard and Miachel lashed out at one another, there was an irreparable crack left in both their hearts. The old lady finally decided to only keep $50,000 to be used as the living expenses for the family of 4. After that, she repaid the rest of the money to the 2 banks. After receiving part of the repayment, the person in charge of the debt collection department also gave Lady Richard a lot of face. He decided to give the Richard family a breather, and he extended the repayment period for the Richard family to gather more money to repay their debts. Lady Richard could finally heave a huge sigh of relief. She was still counting on Richard Group to turn around and come back to life. She felt as though she would definitely have the opportunity to turn things around as long as she could delay the bankruptcy of Richard Group. Perhaps she would be able to wait for the next Sean Richard to come around. At this time, the Richard family was indeed facing a great deal of difficulties. However, in the final analysis, they only needed tens of millions of dollars to overcome their crisis. If they could really encounter another big boss such as Sean Richard, who had tens of billions of dollars worth of assets, then they would be able to count on the other party to help Richard Group. At that time, Lady Richard would be able to bring the Richard family back to its former glory. Compared to Lady Richard, who was filled with longing and expectation, Miachel was very depressed at this time. The old lady only kept $50,000 from the money that they had made from the sale of the sofa set. Moreover, she had full control of the $50,000. Miachel was already very broke and desperate, and he could barely even afford to buy a pack of cigarettes at the moment. That night, the old lady only used $20 to buy some groceries for the family. She could only afford to buy a bunch of rotten cabbage and half a caddy of pork with that money. Miachel could not help but feel very miserable and uncomfortable. However, there was nothing else that he could do. He could only endure it as he tried to rack his brains to figure out where the old lady could possibly be hiding all the antiques left behind by his late father. As the Richard family was struggling to make ends meet, Emma and her family had already moved into the villa at Beacon Top early the next morning. Since all of their furniture was new, they did not need to move any large items from their old house at all. The 4 of them simply packed up their own clothing and belongings before they packed up the tableware and all the utensils and equipment in the kitchen. After that, they moved everything to the villa all at one go. Alex was in a particularly good mood. This was because as he was tidying up their bedroom, he had deliberately asked Emma if he should bring the bedding that he used to lay on the floor to sleep with him to their new villa. Emma replied with an embarrassed expression on her face, "Didn't you say that you were going to upgrade yourself? So, why are you still intending to bring that over to the new villa?" Alex could not help but feel very excited when he heard Emma's words. After the truck arrived at the villa at Beacon Top, Trump could not help but raise his hand high up in the air as he was really very happy and overjoyed that they were finally moving into the villa. After that, the family of 4 began cleaning up their respective rooms. Alex and Emma started to clean up the master bedroom on the 2nd floor, and Elaine started to clean up the master bedroom on the 3rd floor, while Trump cleaned up the smaller bedroom on the 3rd floor. At this time, Trump wanted to separate from Elaine. Elaine did not bother to coax him or quarrel with him. No matter what it was, she was going to sleep in the master bedroom on the 3rd floor. Trump could sleep wherever he wanted to. Since Elaine also felt a little upset when she saw Trump now, she was also very happy to be separated from him. However, Emma could not help but feel a little uncomfortable at this time. Even though she had always known that the relationship between her parents has never been very good, both of them had already lived together for more than 20 years. Therefore, she could not help but feel a little uncomfortable now that they were getting separated. However, Emma also knew that as their daughter, she should not be interfering in their relationship. Therefore, she thought that she should just allow them to separate for a short while so that they could both calm down and think things through. If they could think things through, then their lives would be much more comfortable in the future. As Alex and Emma were packing up, Mia also arrived at the villa in a cab. She was only carrying 2 suitcases and a bag, as she did not bring a lot of items here with her. Emma quickly invited Mia into the villa as she brought her directly to the second floor using the elevator. As soon as they stepped out of the elevator, Emma yelled, "Alex, come and help Mia."